Trump stumps in Tampa and explains his softening stance on immigration.
There certainly can be a softening because we're not looking to hurt people.
Plus, with the primary around the corner, we put our congressional candidates to the test.
Should Merrick Garland get a vote, yes or no, this year?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
And we also put Scott Smith in the hot seat in tonight's quiz show. This is Money, Power, and Politics. Well, tonight we have a health crisis in Florida, and Congress is on another extended break. What more can you say?
It's craziness.
That's bad crazy.
First point, we have an emergency. Zika causes severe birth defects. Mosquitoes are spreading Zika in Florida. We now have a non-travel related case right here in Tampa Bay, and Congress is asleep at the wheel as it has been for years.
It's about trying to do what's right for the whole country.
Point two, this has to stop. Governor Scott is pressing Washington for help. President Obama has pressed for emergency action on this for months. Rubio and Nelson, Republicans and Democrats here in Florida, are all on the same page generally, but their colleagues are missing in action. Gridlocked by petty politics, to be more exact, because our Congress does not live up to its name.
You will wait until hell freezes over.
Sit down and shut up.
Sit down and shut up.
Do what I say. When I say it, sit down, shut up.
Shut up.
So point three, this do-nothing Congress must do something. And Republicans and Democrats agree on that point, but they just can't get out of their own way. The president called for $1.9 billion to fight Zika again months ago. And Republicans who fight him tooth and nail said they needed more specifics. And then Republicans offered to commit more than $1 billion, but then Democrats balked because they said the bill was loaded with other stuff, like cutting funding for Obamacare and the Confederate flag, all poison pills unrelated to Zika. I think the Game of Thrones shame nun said it best.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
No wonder faith in government is near an all-time low. And as Zika spreads in Florida and Congress is on break until next month, then goes on break again the following month, remember that members of Congress have said they deserve a raise because they're overworked and need more money. And that brings us to our fake public service announcement we put together for Congress. Our congressmen need your help.
There's no towel service.
No towels.
They once lived without fresh towel service for days, and we only pay them $174,000 for an entire year.
It's so embarrassing.
Try living off $174,000 a year while spending money like a member of Congress.
I live paycheck to paycheck like most Americans.
Around half may be millionaires, but after taxes and savings and reinvesting in their business portfolios, well, Representative John Fleming put it best.
By the time I feed my family, I have, maybe $400,000 left over.
And so goes life for a member of Congress.
I struggle to meet my bills.
Yeah, you get the idea. Okay, we have a lot of ground to cover tonight. Donald Trump spent this day in Tampa, and his position on immigration has in fact changed. Evan spent the day with the Trump camp, and he'll break that down. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is facing more trouble over her emails, and with our primary next week, we'll put the Florida candidates to the test. But first, it's Wednesday night and time to have some fun with our weekly interactive quiz show, and Scott Smith is ready to play.
In sports, Scott Smith makes us call the plays. But in politics, we put him to the test. Time now for Call It with Scott Smith.
And we're back now with Scott Smith. You've had an excellent run here. The score favors you so far. This is the final round. This is do or die, whether you hit your prediction or not. So this is it.
Okay, well, I'm bringing it. Here we go.
We're going to start with 2000 presidential candidate Gary Bauer. He's going to flip a pancake. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Right,
nothing could go wrong. Love this. This
A,
is great.
He crashes into the curtain. B, catches the pancake, and I should say inadvertently catches the pancake in his mouth. C, catches the pancake, but then drops the plate on his foot and yells, "Ow."
Yes.
Or D, catches the pancake and yells, "That's what I'm talking about," but he does it in a British accent.
Oh man, I think it's overwhelmingly the pancake gets caught. I want to say in his mouth, inadvertently.
Inadvertently in his mouth. All right, here you go. Take a look.
Oh, that was better than that was even better.
It just crashes into the curtain, but he was okay. He was okay.
But Biscuit got some run out of it, so that's good.
I think this one you're going to get. This is an easy one. This one made the rounds. This is going to be Joni Ernst from Iowa. Take a look.
I'm Joni Ernst.
All right, she's going to give you her qualification for United States Senate. I'm Joni Ernst. Is it A, her qualification is castrating hogs on an Iowa farm, B, shoveling manure at the county fair, C, making moonshine from her father's still, or D, shucking corn from dawn to dusk?
Man, let's go, Iowa, right?
Yeah.
I like the castrating hogs.
Yeah.
I think it ties into, let's go. Let's go there.
I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go. That's a nice recovery there. Okay. We're going to go back in time to Richard Nixon. This is the day he resigned. He's talking about his photographer and all the pictures he took. This, again, is the day he resigned. Watch this.
My friend Ollie always wanted to take a lot of pictures.
Well, he's got a problem with Ollie taking all those pictures.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it
that?
A, Ollie may catch him sleeping in his suit, on the couch I might add. B, catch him picking his nose. C, catch him picking his toenails. Or D, catch him hiding the secret tapes.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. Picking his toenails is just so disgusting. But I'm gonna go with that. Let's go
C.
C.
You're gonna go toenails. All right,
C.
take a look.
My friend Ollie always wanted to take a lot of pictures. I'm afraid he'll catch me picking my nose.
Oh, so close. All right. We're going to head over
too much sense.
to one of the most epic political speeches of all time.
Okay.
Phil Davison. I want you to watch what he had to say here and figure out what he said next.
My name is Phil Davison, and I am seeking our party's nomination for the position of Stark County Treasurer. I have been a Republican in times good, and I have been a Republican in times bad. Albert Einstein issued one of my most favorite quotes in the history of the spoken word, and it is as follows.
Okay, it is as follows. What is it? Is it A, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, B, E equals MC Hammer?
Oh, no.
It's his joke. C, it's all relative, time, space, and all that jazz. Or D, cosmological term, what was I thinking?
I have seen this. I don't quite recall, but C sounds the most familiar. I'm going to go with all that jazz.
All that jazz. Let's take a look.
In the middle of opportunity, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. I'm going to repeat that so I have clarity tonight. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, it's still overall, it's a pretty good run here. Now, you have a bonus question here.
Do I? Okay,
right.
good. Redemption.
Let's play this out. Go ahead.
We're tired of business as usual. Drastic times require what?
Drastic times require what? Is it, you only have three choices this time. Drastic measures, A, B, a new way of life, or C, time to turn up the gas.
You know what? Hey, let's go gas. Let's hit the gas pedal. C.
All right, C, turn up the gas. Is that what drastic times require? Take a look.
Drastic measures, yes! Who said that?
Drastic times require drastic.
That just made too much sense.
It made too much sense. It was the logical choice there at the end.
Started out really nice.
I must say, overall though, you are batting like an all-star. Okay. You're a Hall of Famer at this point. So these are 4 rounds. We're going to play a few more after that, if you don't mind. Thank you for letting me rip off your idea. And
this was
we'll
a lot
go
more
from
fun. I like this.
No,
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back. Coming up, Trump explains his shifting immigration policy, Hillary Clinton's latest email woes, and a closer look at Tuesday's primary. Ed Rollins chairs the pro-Trump Great America Super PAC, and he said if the elections were held today, Trump would lose badly to Hillary Clinton. But
It's a long way to November, and we already have some interesting changes to talk about. The average of national polls has moved at least a little in Donald Trump's favor, and Trump confirmed that he may be softening his stance on mass deportation after meeting with Hispanic leaders.
I did. I had a meeting with great people, great Hispanic leaders, and there certainly can be a softening because we're not looking to hurt people.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is still bogged down in her email mess. Check out the front page headlines. New York Times, more questions about email use shadow Clinton. FBI has a new trove. Dispute that threatens to follow campaign trail into the fall. The Washington Post, donors given access to Clinton. New emails fit patterns. So don't be surprised if the polls continue to tighten over the next couple of weeks. And Donald Trump spent today in the ultra battleground state, specifically here in Tampa, trying to move the needle here in Florida.
What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? It cannot get any worse. And believe me, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it so good.
Well, Trump drew a crowd of thousands today in Tampa, but some big-name Republicans here in our state are not supporting him, including Jeb Bush and Congressman David Jolly, who represents Pinellas County. Last year, Jolly called on Trump to resign, said he was unfit to serve. And now Jolly is running for re-election, and he's in the fight of his political life. And Evan caught up with him and asked him why he still will not embrace Trump.
Frankly, some security concerns in terms of empowering an alliance with Putin and weakening our NATO alliance. Those are policy concerns, so I'm not there yet. I know I won't be supporting Secretary Clinton, but as of today, I'm not in a position to support Mr. Trump either.
How concerned are you about being on the same ticket as him?
It's clear we're not a unified party today, right? And I think you're going to see that across the country. And that's unfortunate. I say that that is disappointing. But each candidate has to run on the platform that they believe is right for their community. That's what I intend to do. And at the end of the day, I think the voters, at least in our congressional race, will look at the merits of the two congressional candidates. Whether they choose one presidential candidate or another, I don't believe will impact the race I'm in November.
Now, in that moment, he said there are two congressional candidates when in fact there are three, and he referred to the race he's in November. He's assuming that he'll make it to November, and at least in that moment, he ignored his primary opponent. But Jolly is in fact facing a challenge from within his own Republican Party. Retired General Mark Bircher, who's an airline pilot, is trying to knock him off the perch. And in our continuing series tonight, we put Jolly's Republican challenger, Mark Bircher, to the test. Here are some excerpts from our one-on-one.
You take a lot of pride in your knowledge of the Constitution, and there's been a bit of a debate this year in terms of whether or not Merrick Garland should get a vote this year. Should he or should he not?
Well, I don't remember ever saying that I took a lot of pride in my knowledge of the Constitution. There's probably 10,000 people in the county that know more than me. So I'm not really sure that's a valid point.
You're not proud of your knowledge of the Constitution?
I've never said that.
Are you proud of your knowledge of the Constitution?
I think everybody should always be a student of the Constitution,
right.
And I consider myself a student of the Constitution.
And you take pride in that?
I do take pride in being a student.
Okay, so should Merrick Garland get a vote, yes or no, this year?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
If you're in Congress, would you or would you not want to take it up?
It's a great point, and you really answered your question you answered my question with your question. Where I come from my background, you don't walk around as an expert on everything. Whenever you get to a new assignment, a new challenge, you come in with your mouth closed, your ears open, your eyes open, and you get all the knowledge you can. And the reason I can't answer that is because I'm not satisfied I have all the answers necessary.
If you were serving in Congress today, though, you would have to make a decision in terms of whether or not you would want to vote on Garland. If you were in Congress, you would have to make a decision despite your lack of knowledge of the circumstances. What would it be?
You're asking me to speculate, and I never find where that has much merit to go into a hypothetical. Put me in Congress, then bring me back here, and it's a fair question.
You also think that states should take control of Medicare and Social Security. How would that work if one moves from state to state?
Well, that's not really true. I don't think the state should take control. The reality is, if we look at our Constitution and we look at the enumerated powers of government, the states should have never lost control.
So then the federal government should not be controlling Medicare and Social Security?
The federal government should obey the Constitution, stay within their enumerated powers.
Which, in your position on this, is that it should not, therefore, maintain control of Medicare and Social Security.
That's correct.
So then, should we have Medicare and Social Security? And if so, which entity should govern it?
I'm running for federal office. I want to do the enumerated powers, which are print money, common defense, foreign policy, and regulating interstate commerce. That question is a state question.
Would you have entered this race, Mr. Bircher, had you known that David Jolly would seek re-election?
I would not have.
Why then not get out of it now?
Because when I had 8 months of running for the seat and people were pouring their hearts out in many ways to support me, and ironically many of my supporters were Representative Jolly people, his people that supported him, because the position that the county, the 13th Congressional District was in, was not even having a candidate to oppose Governor Christ.
Please watch our full interview with retired General Bircher on our YouTube channel. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics on YouTube and click subscribe. You'll also find extended interviews with other candidates and investigations and prior shows you may have missed. Coming up, we take a closer look at Trump's message in Tampa with Evan Axelbank and roll out a new round of predictions. Well, today in Tampa, Donald Trump focused on the economy and trade, and Evan Axelbank shows us how it played at the fairgrounds.
Well, he said the Democratic Party has taken African-American votes for granted. He also said that Democratic policies have ruined the cities that African-Americans live in. Take a look. This here is Donald Trump here today at the state fairgrounds before an audience of about 3,000 people. He enters the last 2.5 months of the campaign, trailing badly in polls of minority voters in states like Pennsylvania and Florida. He also repeated his claim during this rally that black voters have nothing to lose and that they're living in poverty. Obviously, those are things that have been pushed back on by not only the Clinton campaign, but also African-American community leaders. He said they have a right to walk down the street without being shot, and that he will fix inner cities, and that he will end crime. To win the state of Florida, he also says that he needs the Get Out the Vote effort to be going full force by Election Day. That is something that the Clinton campaign is riding some of their hopes on here in Florida. They believe they have a very extensive Get Out the Vote effort. But Donald Trump says that they're going to have to work very hard in order to overcome her lead in the polls and to win this very crucial state of Florida. At the state fairgrounds, Evan Axelbank for Money, Power, and Politics.
Coming up, Clinton's response to her email troubles and how it could affect the race. Well, Donald Trump has been hammering and hammering Hillary Clinton over her email controversy, and we have an interesting response from Clinton and her surrogates, basically a muted response, not going on Chris Wallace as she did before, and it didn't go so well, and she follows up by saying she short-circuited. With that, the campaign is basically saying she regrets decisions she has made in the past and is hoping to move on. Here in Florida, it is a neck-and-neck race. If you believe the average of polls, Hillary Clinton has a slight lead, but those polls in Florida can turn on a dime. That's our show. We'll see you tomorrow night.